Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And I've had this Turnigy i10 radio for a long time, and a lot of you guys don't know that I use this radio a lot because I have a lot of park flyers. I tend to use this for short range airplanes, but the reason I like it so much is it's so wonderfully easy to set up and wonderfully easy to set up your rates and your Expo and all that good stuff. So just want to show you guys right now that I have this set up for my Thunder Chief, which I'm going to be maintaining hopefully later this week. But I've got my Elevon set up. It's a little weird because it has front and rear, but it's basically an Elevon setup, which means it's elevator and Elevon, or elevator and ailerons combined. So we have this here. And I just want to show you how I have it on the dial here. This is my aileron control. This is less or more throw, and this is my elevator control here. Less or more throw, and then I also have, of course, my throttle here. Sorry, I just blew your guys' ears out. So let's just get into this radio real quick. I'll just go ahead and set up a new model, and I'll show you how I did all that stuff very easily. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm on Thunder Chief right now, which is the airplane that I have set up. So I don't want to set up that one because it's already set up. We're going to go ahead and go into our menu system here. I'm going to go scrolling over. We have, you can either use your finger or the little stylus that you have here. We're going to go into models. We're going to go into select model, and I'm going to go into one that I haven't used yet, which is this Turnigy i10 here. And I'm going to go back out of this now. So you can see I have Turnigy i10 set up. I'm going to hit RX setup, and I'm going to hit bind with a receiver, which is right here. It says, are you sure? I'm going to put yes. So I have my model over here with a bind plug in the receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in, and we will get bound up. And you can see right here that we are now bound up. You can see that the RX shows that I'm at full power here. That means it has sensed the airplane. So what I'm going to do now here is remove the bind plug from the airplane's receiver, and I can power this down now. So I'm going to go ahead and power the airplane down. And you'll see that the RX is going to go to 0 now. You see right there, it just went to 0, and it says it's not connected. That means that we have a complete bind. And just to show you guys what happens when I plug in the airplane, you can see that we now have the RX is now fully inside, and I'll go ahead and unplug that now. Okay, let's go ahead and set up our model now. We're going to go back, and we're going to go to models and model type for model 11 here. So I'm going to go here. We're going to select airplane or glider, and it says it's going to reset everything. So I'm going to hit yes. So as you can see here, this is just a standard setup with single ailerons, single elevator, and a rudder. So we obviously don't need all that. So on this airplane we have a motor and 2 channels for the Elevon. So I'm going to hit modify here. It's a little confusing for Elevon airplanes, but we're going to have checked here. But we're going to have engine checked. We're going to hit aileron. We're going to hit 2 ailerons on this one, and we're going to deselect the elevator. We'll scroll this up and deselect the rudder. Now I'm going to go back, and it's going to show me the airplane structure. So even though my motor is in the back, it's okay that channel 3 is going to be my throttle, channel 1 is going to be my left aileron, and my right aileron or elevator is going to be channel 5 here. So this will all work out as we go along here. You'll see. So you're going to plug the left servo into channel 1 and the right servo into channel 5. So I'm going to go back now. So we've set up our airplane structure. You see how easy that was? Very, very, very easy. So now we're going to go through, and we'll see if everything works right now. As you can see here, that everything is reversed. I have elevator on aileron and vice versa. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch one of those channels, and it should correct everything here. Okay guys, all I needed to do is I had to go into my aileron channel and just reverse that one channel, and let me just show you now. Everything is corrected, so if I go right and left, you should see right and left aileron, and when this is pointed to the right aileron should come up, and it's doing that. And if I pull back, the elevators are going up, and that's exactly what's happening. That's all just because I reversed this one. Okay, now that we have that situated, guys, the very next thing that we need to do on this radio is set up some rates and Expo on the channels here. Now what I usually like to do is I like to put my aileron rates on this channel right here, and my elevator rates on this channel right here. These are the 2 knobs. I usually run 30% Expo and everything, so I'm just going to show you guys how we get along doing that. So this button here is called VRC, and this is VRA. So a real cool thing about this model is if you go into the display servos, it'll show exactly what your servos are doing when you change the sticks there. So channel 1 and channel 5 are moving for aileron, and then we're going reverse directions for elevator here. Just a real cool thing to point out. Okay guys, the first thing we want to do is we want to go into this menu right here, which is the exponential menu, and we're going to look at the aileron and elevator. Now this is actually rates and exponential. Now what rates is how far up your control surfaces are going to go, your elevons, or how far they're going to go up or down. So first thing we want to set up is the aileron stick here. And what we want to do is we want to turn this on by clicking this button. See how nothing's activated? We're going to activate that. And we're going to go into the switches. We want to basically create this switch right here, which is the VRC. This is the knob. We want to turn that on. So we want to go into the rate control right here. So we're going to switch this to VRC, and we're going to go back. I'm going to go back again, and now as I turn this knob, you can see how the rates will change, and that'll make the ailerons go up or down with more or less travel. So my exponential, I'm going to set this actually at 30%, which is what I use on all my models. My rates now are variable, so I have 90% rate there, 100% rates with the 30% Expo, and you have a great graphical display here of exactly what that does to change what's going on in your airplane. So now I've got rates and Expo set up on my aileron. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to set that up for my elevator. So go elevator stick. I'll go ahead and set up the rates first this time. So I'm going to go into my, we're going to activate that. And we're going to go into a switch. We'll go into the rate control switch. And we're going to make that the VRA, which is the knob that's on the other side. Go back, and now you can see, as I turn my dial here, this is that's 0 rate right there. This is 100% rate, but we have no Expo, because you can see this is a linear line right now, so you'll see what happens when I go into Expo, and this is a little knob here. I'm just going to move this up, and then you'll see the Expo getting added in there. I'm going to go to 30% again, and just leave it there. So it's great. Now we've got everything set up, and I'm going to show you what this means when we look at the airplane. Well, okay guys, let's take a look at what exactly we did with the elevator and Elevon as far as the rates go. So this is a great graphical representation of what happens with the rates as we go through the travel. So let's say you just took off for your maiden flight, and all of a sudden the airplane's super twitchy and pitchy, and it's just going up and down like crazy. So what you can do is actually take your elevator, which is, this is the maximum throw right now, you can actually dial that back, and I usually like to have it at about like 75% or so to start with. That's always a great starting point. But let's say even at that much it's too twitchy, you can dial this back to 50%. So now you only have this much travel. Let's say that's still too much, you can dial it down to 25%. That's 25% throw right there, unless you can go all the way down to 0. You can see 0 has no effect here hardly at all on the elevator. If I go up to 50%, now we have 50% travel. I'll just, if we go to 50%, then we have 50% travel. But let me just hold the elevator back. You can see I can change the travel all the way through from 0 to 100%. Same thing with my aileron. So let's say you get up in the air and the airplane is just twitching back and forth. You want to turn that down. So this is the let's see. This is the maximum travel that I have right now for this airplane. So if I pull the aileron all the way to one side here, and I start to dial that back, you can see that just by turning this dial, it's changing the amount of throw that your ailerons have. So now I've got it all the way down at 0. I have no travel. And turn it up. That's about 50% right there. I usually like to leave it at about 75% for all of my maidens. So hopefully, guys, this has helped you guys out as far as how you set up dual rates and Expo, and what dual rates actually means. It just means how far your control surfaces are going to deflect. So guys, if you like this video, if you learned something, give me that like and subscribe button, and this should be out for maiden flight probably tomorrow or the next day, so definitely stay tuned. See you guys.